Hi everybody, it's Tyler here at Speedway checking in 3150A. It's Silver Owl. We had a chance to check with this team at Highlander in a robot rundown, but they've done a full rebuild on this robot and they are performing incredibly well as we go through. I saw a 13 block auto earlier from this team and I was absolutely blown away with the prowess that goes into this. It's a lot of great stuff that we're going to be covering on this robot. This articulating intake and hood, I'm looking at diving a little bit more into that. And then a few more things that we'll be talking about that really has made this team special, especially here at Speedway. Learn more about them coming up here on Pits and Parts.
This video on fun is brought to you by viewers like you and also in partnership with the following. The Robotics Education and Competition Foundation provides fantastic programs for students from elementary school all the way through college. These include VEX, aerial drone competition, online challenges, JROTC, drill-powered, scholarships, certifications, and so much more. To discover these exciting opportunities, visit recf.org and get connected.
Sienna, as we talked to you back at Highlander and you showcased what you're doing, this is a full rebuild from there. I remember you had the 2 intakes on your robot back then, so can you walk me through some of the big changes your team has made in this rebuild?
Yeah, of course. So at Highlander, we had a C-shaped bot, but we discovered some issue with the C-shaped bot. First, it goes under the bar, but moving through the season, we realized that maybe going under the bar wasn't that effective and we don't need it. So making the ball higher might be more effective. And then also we had a double-sided intake, but we realized at Highlander that it was not the most effective. So we rebuilt to this S-shaped bot, which we got inspiration from the bots at Highlander. And compared to our old bot, it scores and intakes much faster, which is a key component of the game, because where results can change really quickly, we want our robot to be able to intake and score as fast as it can.
Can you just walk me through a little bit how your rebuild process goes? As your team meets and talks about some of those changes, is it just you to start building right away, or what does some of that process actually look like for your team?
So after Highlander, we analyzed a lot of teams such as Overclock and then the Pink Shiny Unicorns teams, and then we went through what their parts of the robot was, and then we discovered that this hood is more effective than the one that we used before. And then also we made a double park mechanism and then used auto scrapper mag for intaking, and then we just brainstormed a lot of different ideas and then tested a lot out and then find out that this was the most effective.
And obviously been working out great for your team so far. Let's pass over to Joe and get more of an overview of some of the key aspects of this robot. What do you want to start with?
Yeah, I would like to start with the double park mech. It is one of the key features that we added onto our robot, and it's one of the most impactful things we've added. We decided to add this not pretty recently, actually, after competing at a local scrimmage with one of the best teams in the world right now, Snacky Cakes 16610A. So we implemented this because on the finals match, we lost by just a couple of points, and having a double park mech would have made the difference. So we actually use this 2-piston double park mech that pushes a block down from the front stage of the intake, and basically it just lifts the front of the intake, pushes the block down so that it lifts our bot off the ground when it's on the parking bar.
And then from a match strategy standpoint, when you've been playing these matches so far, are you finding that you are double parking more often than not, or where's that that decision made between abandoning a long ball actually and going for that double park?
So far, we think that whenever we're up a lot of points, we don't really go to double park because we want to have some SP, and then but then whenever a match gets really close, we will try to do double park as long as our alliance can go and park themselves.
Does that change for you in playoffs at all as you look forward to that too, and how that might actually happen?
Yeah, I think we will definitely start to use double park even more in the playoffs because the matches are going to be more intense, and the 30 points will really make the biggest difference.
Anything else on your robot that you wanted to highlight at all?
Yeah.
So our bot right here has an actual linear slide, as Sienna briefly talked about. So what this does, it allows us to go somewhat under the bar by incorporating this, which actually isn't a fixed point, but actually on a screw joint, which allows this to actually fold up and down. So this allows us to go somewhat under the bar to get either a 9 block, also not to get tipped. So in some of our internal scrimmages, only our org, we noticed that without this flexible and with the stationary, we might get stuck on the long ball, actually tilt upwards and get permanently stuck there, which is very sad because we can't really move, can't do anything. And this actually fixes it because instead of going up, instead of the bot tipping upwards, this actually goes down and restricts that from happening.
Had an opportunity to watch your team play a couple matches, and you've had a very high scoring output, but you've also faced some very tough defense so far. So how is your team kind of approaching that? Like when you go into matches, I think you're the team to beat, so everybody's coming after you. Has anything in either your design or your match strategy evolved throughout the signature event so far?
Yeah, for sure. So our match strategy at the start of the season, at the start of the signature event, we were mainly focusing on not using our wings as often instead of using our hood, which is very fast D-score. But what we've seen is that the hood can only reach so far, but the wings can actually reach no matter where you are. So if there's 3 blocks, look at control. So our match has really shifted into using our wing more often, as it doesn't really need us to stay in one spot. We can actually roam around freely. And for the defense, what we've been doing is we try to get our alliance partner to pin down the stronger team. So it's mainly going to be a 1v1 between our alliance and our enemies, and also a 1v1 between us and our enemies' partners. This helps us run laps around them. We can just drive around the field, do little spin moves, and try to get into a spot where we can actually score. And what helps us really get scores is how fast our intake actually is. If Joe can just put some blocks in. So our intake right here runs at it's 600 in the big sprocket, and then it goes to 900 and 1300. The reason why it's fast on top because the sprocket is bigger, so the speed of actually which the blocks are traveling through is roughly the same. So this is how fast our intake will go, which is pretty fast and allows us to just go straight into the goal and score instantly.
Yeah, you've had insane throughput, I think, throughout this. And one of the things I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about was your autonomous modes as well, too.
Yeah.
As I watched the 13-block auto by you and absolutely blown away by that. What have been some of your keys to success in getting your auto so well and so consistent?
So what we really focus on is tuning our autos and not actually creating more complex motion control. So we see a lot of teams do MCL or ODOM, but we felt that we didn't have a lot of time to actually make those libraries, and instead stay with simple PID. And the way we use simple PID is through our motor encoders and inertial sensor, which really help us really be consistent in our autos. Additionally, to be even more consistent, we use these traction wheels to make sure we don't drift side to side. And yeah. And then something we haven't seen a lot of teams do in the new generation before in V5 is actually have this inertial sensor mounted on rubber links, which reduces the vibrations that caused by the intake or just roaming around the field.
Silver Owl, it's so great to check in with you again, and congratulations on your success so far. I know you got a local event win already and looking for big things here at Speedway as well. Can't wait to see how you do, and thanks for sharing more about your robot. I think the teams can learn a lot from this too, so we appreciate it, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay up to date on future fun videos. The Robotics Education and Competition Foundation provides fantastic programs for students from elementary school all the way through college. These include VEX, aerial drone competition, online challenges, JROTC, girl-powered, scholarships, certifications, and so much more. To discover these exciting opportunities, visit recf.org and get connected.